I'm really glad you're here today on this Wednesday in July, when we know that a lot of you are, if you're in the office, you're getting ready for fall fundraising events, but I know a lot of your peers are still vacationing and still off. So whether you're seeing this live or a recording, we're glad you're here. I'm going to begin by just talking a bit about Sessions, the platform that we're using, so that you feel perfectly comfortable here. Sessions is obviously like Zoom, but we like it because of a few features that it has here. First, one of my favorite features is on the left, which is Show Agenda. So if you look down to the left and hit Show Agenda, it will show you where we are. There are some resources that are linked here, and it's just a good way to click through this. Additionally, there's a Q&A section. So we welcome, as always, we welcome your questions. We'll be here to answer them. And then additionally, even though it's not a two-way conversation, we do appreciate a two-way experience. So if you want to raise your hand or put up an emoji, feel free to do that. Have a little fun with us. We recognize all of your names, and we're glad you're here. And then in the notes section, this is for you. If you're a note-taking kind of person, feel free to take those notes. They're only for you, and you'll have them at the end of the session. And as with all of our sessions, these are recorded and ultimately posted in our support desk, and I believe sent out by email as well. So you'll always have this as a resource to you. And should you need to leave early, or at any point really, at the end, just click that exit button. That's a red arrow inside a square. And we'll hate to see you go, but we understand if you must leave us at some point. So again, always happy to answer any questions, and we're glad you're here in Sessions. A bit about us. Hopefully you know us, who we are. Who we are is the reason that we do this. We're doing Just One Things, which is a session that we're doing every other Wednesday, featuring talking about one feature or one subject matter in a short way. We are you. We started Swell because we had been in your shoes, and were frustrated with the tools that were available to us at the time. And so we're always really doing our best to solve problems that you experience on a daily basis, particularly when it comes to events. That was where we experienced that. So everyone at Swell has worked at a nonprofit or has a heart for nonprofits, and we're really focused on your experience. We measure ourselves by your success entirely. So today, I'm excited about this topic. Our topic today is setting up your products in Swell. Hopefully many of you have done that before, but if not, we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to cover a few things in that, why it's important to get it set up just right, so that it's easy for guests, but also because we'll talk about why it's important, where our products, we'll go deep into ticketing to help you use, it even in a more sophisticated way, and we'll go into tables and teams and sponsorships as well. And so with that, I'm going to share my screen with you, and give me just a second here. I'm going to share my screen so that we can begin to talk about products. And so here I have pulled up the product section. Let me back up a little bit. When you log into your to an event in Swell, you log into your dashboard. You'll choose your event, and then you come to your event dashboard. Today we're going to talk about a pickleball tournament, and because it has a lot of elements that can drive different ticketing styles, and I hope that you can then extrapolate this to your luncheon events and to your golf events and to the myriad of events that all of you host in our platform. So in the dashboard, you go to Setup, and you click on Products. And this is where we are. Ultimately, the product page, just to go back for a second, ultimately the product page drives, I'm going to get to this, what shows up here on your homepage. So this is the homepage of this pickleball website. And depending on the products that you set up in this product section, we will pop up the appropriate product button here. So for example, this is the ticket button here for this event. And this is the table team button here. When we set up a sponsorship button will show up here as well. For pickleball tournaments and golf tournaments and luncheons, often a sponsorship is a team. And so it's common to see sponsorships and teams and tables merge into one of these, not have a separate product, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So this is where we're headed. We're headed toward you being able to show the buttons that you want to show, to be able to show the types of tickets that you want to show, but also to not show some. And we'll talk about that as well. So let's go back to the dashboard. And here in the dashboard, you have your product section. Currently, this event already has a few products set up, and we'll dig into those a little bit. As I showed you on that ticket page, they have 3 products showing here: an individual player at $50, a youth player at $25, and a fan only at $20. At any point, if the client in this wanted to edit this or change it, maybe we wanted to say, fan only or watch ticket only. We could just come into this edit button here, and we're going to just say fans, and maybe one of the parentheses, watch ticket. And we're going to just hit save again. Or maybe you realize, we're not really in the process of wanting to recruit fan tickets yet. So let's deactivate this ticket for now. And that way now it doesn't show up on the website anymore. So if I were to show this tab and now refresh it, our fan ticket has gone away. But you have it and you're ready to go when you want to show that fan ticket again. So let's go back in here. I'm actually gonna make that active again. And here in team, we have the pickleball team, and we can see there's one pickleball team option. It's $250. There are 500 of these teams available, which is a big number for teams. And this team will draw from the individual players. This is a really good time for me to talk about max availability and tickets per table. When you set up one of these tickets, and I'll go to individual ticket now, you're telling it how many individual tickets you have available. This would be a very large pickleball tournament. So maybe I come in here like, oh no, the person that set this up, our venue is not that big. Maybe we have 150 people that can come to this and play. And so in that sense, that means that the number of tickets that are formed will always pull from this 150 number. So every time a team is created, this will go down by 4 tickets available. But maybe here I do have 300 fans. And so we can have 300 individual fans watching, but only 150 players. And maybe here I realize, I don't want really this to turn into a youth event. Well, we want people to be able to bring their kids. So maybe we'll say they're only 50, because that would just change the dynamic completely, right? To have 400 youth there and 150 adult players. So that just tells the system how many tickets it can sell or issue in this category. And it helps you control what's sold online, particularly as that relates to sponsors and VIPs. And so one thing I wanted to show you here is, let's create a ticket from scratch. And I thought here, it would be really fun to show you to create an active ticket, but let's hide this ticket. And we're going to create a celebrity ticket. So maybe in this case, you want to have the mayor, maybe you want to have the school board superintendent, maybe there's a celebrity pickleball player in town, and you want to create celebrity teams. And you're going to create these celebrity teams in a way where they aren't coming in online, but you're going to send them a link to a ticket so that you can put them on a celebrity team. So we want to create this ticket, make it active, but hide it so no one can get to it from the website. Maybe your goal is to just have 20 celebrity players, and we're going to call this celebrity player. And this doesn't cost anything because you're sending this out behind the scenes. And perhaps maybe you want somebody to be able to create a celebrity team. You want to be able to send a link to Charles Barkley and say, hey, please bring 3 of your friends. So we're going to create a team out of this. Another team, We're going to make it active, and we're going to hide it. And we're going to say that there are 5 available. 5 times 4 is 20, right? So 5 celebrity teams here. And we're going to say celebrity team. And the price here is 0. But the ticket that we want it to pull from is the celebrity player ticket. And he has 4 tickets here. We're going to hit save. And what's important here is if I were to go back to, I'm going to share this tab and refresh, that all of the celebrity player ticketing that I've done is not showing. It's not going to sell a team, and it's not going to sell a ticket. But you can send this behind the scenes. This is very helpful for, I want to just to help you think through this. Like if you're running a cook event, or you have sponsors or VIPs entering an event, and you want someone at the door to know, oh, this is one of my celebrity players, or this is a sponsor ticket, because it's going to show on their ticket and on the check-in app what type of ticket they have. And that helps you handle a VIP reception, handle sponsor seating, and handle things at the door, because you have created buckets of tickets in the process. So now we have a celebrity team and a celebrity player ticket. And what that means now is I can go into tables and teams. I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I'm going to create the Charles Barkley team. Wouldn't that be fun? And we're going to make this a celebrity team. And I'm going to send this link to Charles. I wish I could. I'll just use info@Swell Fundraising. I do not have his email address. But we're going to go ahead and send Charles his ticket. So he's going to get a ticket, and he's going to get a link to the other 3 tickets. And what that means is that as those names fill in, or as we get names to fill in on this ticket, so say Charles doesn't fill in the names, right? We really don't expect Charles, or maybe even his assistant, to fill in the names, but maybe they send you the names. You can come in right here into that button and enter the names here. And again, the most important thing here is it's going to send the celebrity tickets. So when you come back to check in your guest on the day of the event, you want your volunteers to know. I'm going to go to Event Tools. I'm going to get a check-in app. And you really want your guests to know when a celebrity walks up. So maybe it's a name they don't realize is a celebrity or a guest of Charles Barkley. But that means that when your volunteers are at the door and someone walks up and says their name, your volunteer knows, oh, welcome. You go over here to this reception. We're so glad you're here. So, and so this is a way for you to help manage at the door processes. And so I wanted to really highlight that for you. That's what I love about the hide ticket process. So let's go back to products again. And let's see where we are. So we have now 2 teams set up. We have 4 tickets. One of those tickets is hidden, and so that we can issue those behind the scenes. And we have different availabilities on these as well. The other important reason that it's nice to have different ticket types is you also might decide that you're going to issue some tickets via the comp ticket link as well. And when you create a comp link, again, you get to tell it which ticket type, but you also can tell it any product type if you want someone to choose their product. There's certain event concepts where that is actually really helpful, but maybe you want to send a link to somebody, a sponsor ticket or a VIP ticket, and you can send them a group of tickets that actually aren't available for sale on the website. So, or maybe they are for sale on the website, but that's why it's nice to have those different products. It helps you manage your seating and everything really well. Let's create a sponsorship since we didn't have one. Sponsorships are pretty simple in the Swell platform. It's really a way to help you just automate what you have probably printed in a sponsorship package. So here we're going to go into sponsorship. We're going to make it active. And maybe there's only one of these available. And it's a presenting sponsor. And it's $25,000. And here we're going to say presenting sponsors make the world go round. Oh, make the world rotate. I don't like that. And as you do this and create these sponsorships, it is now going to back to our pickleball page. Now you have a become a sponsor button. And the way this become a sponsor button works and the sponsorship works is that the name of the sponsorship pops up here. The description that I typed in is here, and it will populate in reverse order from greatest to least here as it goes down. So it's really common to see 25, 15, 5, 1,000. And then this provides you with a way to put an online link in your sponsorship program or your sponsorship if somebody would like to pay online. So we do not see $25,000 sponsorships come through very often, but we do see $1,000, $2,000. And it's a nice way for you to automate that process. When someone comes in at any of these product levels, you see that description in your transaction download. So you'll know what the sponsorship was here. So yeah, and here's a glimpse about how that tab looks. So where you can see the name, the description, and the amount. You also may remember, and I'm sure this isn't another just one thing, you can customize the language on these pages and customize the features that are turned off. So if you'd like to credit someone for this sponsorship or have an added donation, you can do that in our settings as well on this page. So, and let's go back. And so here we are. We're back to our product page. And again, I just want to go back to basics again. Anytime you want to add something on any page in Swell, but in the product page, you hit the green plus sign. If you want to edit something that exists, hit the edit button to the right-hand side. And if there's something here that you want to delete, you can hit the X button and delete it. But if that is already in use, and I'll bet this one is since I used it, let's see. It's not going to let me delete it because it knows that ticket is in use. We have used that product type. So when the product type is in use, it doesn't let you delete it. But this is when I might say, okay, I can't delete this, but I'm going to deactivate it. So is how I would handle that then in the future. So so if you get that oops, it's because you're using the ticket and the system is not going to let you do that. And then before I close out, I also want to just talk briefly about physical tickets versus virtual tickets. Swell is a hybrid platform. We have a virtual module. And so when a virtual ticket is in use, and I'm just going to say there are 20 available, although you can have thousands of these. Maybe it's $15. I want you to see how it looks. When a virtual ticket is in use, you will see that virtual ticket pop up with a bubble at the top of it that says virtual ticket right here at the top. So if you see that, it says virtual ticket. And the importance here is, again, it's important for you to know the different ticket types that you have, but our system really handles them very differently. So you may recall from the email editor that, and let me go back to that really fast. You may recall from the email editor that you have two options here. So when the virtual ticket is turned on, you see that an in-person ticket email and a virtual ticket email. And so from the outset, the physical ticket and the virtual ticket receive two different emails. They get two different reminder emails, all of which you can customize. So I wanted to point that out. It puts them in two different communication lanes. You're able to clearly see in tickets, here in tickets, like what type of ticket someone has. So you could easily search virtual tickets and see who your virtual ticket holders were. So it just, again, just like all the other different product types, it puts them in a different category for you. And if you were to be running our virtual module, then when our reminder goes out, it's going to go out to only the virtual ticket holders automatically. So and so that's the main difference in virtual tickets and in-person tickets is the communication lanes that they go into and of course how it appears on the dashboard. So that it clearly says virtual ticket when you set that up in products. So are there any questions? I have not seen sessions because I'm showing my screen. Let me, the chat. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Nicole. I see the Q&A going on and all. So it looks like you guys are handled. That's great. And so yeah, I had my screen on full screen. So and then the last thing I want to mention to you is the idea of partial tables and partial teams. One thing that that some clients have started to do is especially with luncheons and all is to create a table, for example, and I'll use this pickleball tournament as an example. And maybe again, you want 20 of these available, and we'll call it a half table. And maybe instead of $500 a table, it's $250. It's 250. And maybe we're going to call this we'll have individual players here. And maybe if it was a table of 10 in that case, maybe make this a table of 5, and you could say half table. And so we have clients that are starting to sort of, you could do a half team, 2 players, and all. And when those teams start to form in the system, it's going to issue those tickets. It's going to send that person a link to only 5 versus 10 and all. And when those tables start to get created in here, you can combine them. So if you have 2 tables of 5, or in this case, 2 teams of 2 in this pickleball tournament, you could give each of those, we're going to make both of these team 2. And so you can very easily combine these so that then on the dashboard, back into the check-in app, everybody that comes in on these teams, your volunteer is going to say, oh, you're on court 2. You've essentially combined these. And so we just need some really effective use of partial teams, partial tables, in a way for you to, again, meet guest needs and do what you need to do. And I wanted to highlight that option here for you as well. So. Okay. The good news is that really summarizes the ticket and team options here, and we really look forward to supporting you in all of your events going forward and helping you create things. If you have a particularly complicated event where your ticketing is really complicated, feel free to check in, because I want to go back to where I started, which is why the setup is so important. Is one of our nightmares, and is that sometimes we'll log into an event and see, oh no, they've set up 1 ticket for 2 people. We see that sometimes where it's like, a couple's ticket, and it's actually 1 ticket in our system. And we just know that on the day of the event and in your data, that can be very hard to manage and create a bit of a train wreck at the end. Maybe not, maybe you can manage around it, but as ticketing gets complicated, it's just really important for it to be set up from the beginning very clearly, because that's just going to make your life a lot easier at the end. It's going to make it easy for your guests as well. Thank you for the question. Let's see, can I show, the question is, could you please show again where we can view the items under the separate tab of each person that we want to email the tickets to? I believe that you might mean the complimentary ticket link. Let me show that. I'll show the complimentary ticket link again as well. So let me show you that. In our dashboard, let's go back to that dashboard. This is the comp. This is the comps area. And I did skim through it pretty quickly. I believe there is a just one thing that focuses just on this feature. So we're happy to follow up with that. It's likely here I'll go to our support desk in just a second as well. So here in the complimentary ticket area, you can create a plus sign. And this would be where you wanted to send a link to tickets to somebody. And maybe I want to send them a link to just individual tickets. Maybe they get 4 tickets here or 2 tickets. This might be a note to myself. It might be, Brooks family. And it's just an internal note for you. And then this might be where I put in the contact information for this, and I can hit save and send. And this sends me a link to those 2 tickets. And so it has sent me a link to 2 individual player tickets. And this is what that link looks like, that it's going to send me. And so when I enter first name, last name, email, and phone here, it's going to send me an individual ticket, because that's what I set this up to receive. The other way was the table area. I'm going to share this tab now. And again, it's a little bit different, because in this case, the person goes ahead and enters the information and sends it out themselves. So it's a slightly different process depending on your needs. And that link looks like this. And so this is where Charles Barkley could enter the names, or Charles Barkley's assistant could enter the names of the other celebrity guests that Charles Barkley wanted to join on his team for our pickleball tournament. So did that answer your question, Antonia? Let me go back to, let's see. Great. Thank you, Jenny, for putting that in there. And I thought right now I will go and show you all of this and everything that I've outlined here is available also in our products section. Everything about how to create a team, creating a table, and all is here. This is a description, a scribe description. And so this is going to show you step by step how to do it. To select the event, click next, set up, go to products. And so this is a step-by-step process to create a team. And so that's always available in our dashboard in the product section, outlining exactly how to create a product. So, but we're always here to help you think through it strategically as well. Okay. I do want to highlight these additional resources here. I've put in one of my favorites are some of the blog posts that we've written about ticketing over the years. We have done this for 12 years, and so we have seen a lot and experienced a lot. And again, a clear ticketing process, a clear ticketing process makes all the difference in the world. It really can. I put in here in the resources 5 examples of things you would experience if you don't have the right ticketing set up, and things you might not realize. So if people are emailing you directly and things like that, these are probably things we can automate. So what's next? Let's see. Let me get to that. Let's stop my sharing here. There we go. So what's next? This is going to be a fun one. On August 7th, gamifying your events with leaderboards. Not everybody does it, but our clients that use the leaderboards have a lot of fun. And so this will be a really fun session to talk through guest engagement, how to use the leaderboards, how to use the fundraising display and all to really engage your guests in some giving. So, and hopefully some laughter and some fun.